Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wonderful people. Thank you so much for tuning into our channel. We are always so very appreciative when you tune into our channel. Today we're talking about the South African economy, specifically speaking to Black South Africans. How Black South Africans can increase their ownership in the South African economy, because we know that, and it is documented that although as Black people we are 80% of the population, we own very little of this economy. It may be the most industrialized, it may be the most advanced, but we as Black people, we really own very little of this, own very little in this economy. But there are ways that we can increase our ownership in the economy. Some people are trying, it's not like nothing is happening. Some people are really trying. But what I see them do, most of them, they immediately want to go big. Excuse me. They want to supply big established businesses. And in most cases, these are established and these are chain stores. So they would require you to supply either the whole city with your stock, whatever it is. If not the whole city, then the province or the whole country. And you find that you just don't have the capacity, because the capital you start with also is a limiting factor. And you find that some of them, when they take stock from you, not all of them, but some of them, they would pay you after 3 months. Now that is altogether unethical for a small business. A big, large, established chain store cannot do that to a small business that is just starting out. And I don't know if the government is aware of this, because if they are aware, they need to intervene to protect small businesses. Because if they pay you after 3 months, it means that the second month you supply them, you have to find the capital and pay staff and everything from your own pocket, the second and the third month. And meanwhile, you are a small business. So what really should happen is that the systems are automated. We know that they're automated. They can just check how much of your stock they have sold, and then they should pay you for how much of your stock they've sold on a monthly basis. At least that will ease things out. But if not, there is another way of doing business, because we are 80% of the population of South Africa, and 50% of the population is in townships, in the townships and in villages, and that is us Black people. So that is our forte. Township economy and village economy, that is our forte. That is where we should start to get established. And right here, I think we need to get to say and to get it right that we need to support one another as Black people. We need to support one another's business so that we can establish one another and we grow and we earn something, or we own a bigger slice of the economy. Just imagine 80% of us over the years. I don't know if it's right to mention the names, but I'm not vilifying anybody here. But over the years, buying student prints, sending our kids to school at the beginning of the year, all of us, we would buy student prints uniform at Pep Store, at Ackermans and Jet Store. And how many of us own shares in these stores? Just imagine the number of people that were buying and us being 80%. There are about 24,900 schools in South Africa. Over 90% of them, they are private, they are public schools. And we are 80% of the population. We can start there. We're not saying that we're taking anything from anybody, but we want to increase our ownership in the business, in the economy. We can start there. We have many schools. I checked online. I did a Google check, there are about more than 300 schools in Soweto. If you just target the uniforms and you take about 100 schools and you approach them, you approach the principal and you promise them that they will get 5 rand from every uniform that you sell. And we understand that they cannot tell the students not to buy from where they wish to buy. But there will be some that will buy from you. If there are 300, there are 300 schools, and on average, each school has got about 500 students. If half of them decide to buy from you, particularly if your price can be cheaper and if you promise the school that they will get something also, so you basically promote yourself to the schools and you get the letter of intention to buy or to support you, because that will strengthen your application. And then with that, you do your business plan and you are now a manufacturer because you are going to make uniform. And you approach the IDC, Industrial Development Corporation. With those letters, say 50 or 100 schools, they promise that yes, we will support you. So you can get a loan from IDC and become a manufacturer of uniform. You will not take the entire market to yourself. Like I said, Soweto's got 300 schools. Maybe you take 50 or 100. So we can get 3 to 6 businesses that manufacture school uniforms in Soweto. And imagine you employ maybe 2, 3 other people and you are the fourth. And we start there and we increase our ownership in the economy. And we also create employment in the townships for our people. So that is one idea, school uniforms. The same thing with stationery and books. Just imagine the number of schools and the number of children that are in school. Every single year, 1 million children register for grade A, for grade 1. Of course, some of them, they fall off, they drop out, as especially after grade 9. But say between 10 million and 11 million, there we have between 10 and 11 million kids in school. Do you mean to say that, sorry, my throat is dry, but do you mean to say that we don't have, I know there's one guy who has now started making stationery and he sells to CNA and PNA and stuff like that. But the market is bigger. We could add maybe 10 more people, 10 more businesses that make stationery, 10 more black businesses that make stationery. Also 10 more businesses that make school shoes. And we employ our people, we create employment, we increase our ownership in the economy. That is economic transformation. Economic transformation is not going to be taking something from anybody, but us stepping into areas that we were not involved in before, particularly as manufacturing. I want to talk a lot about manufacturing. Because if I'm going to talk about the IDC is particularly for, it is industrial development. If they are not into small businesses, they won't talk to you if you have, if you need less than 1 million. And they will not talk to you if you are into retailing. They are not into retailing. They are not into small businesses. They want to develop the industry. They want to develop the manufacturing industry. So I would say that, yeah, we talking manufacturing. Go into making stationery. Just imagine if we have 11 or 10 million kids in school and all 10 million, they need exercise books and hard cover books. Just claim your stake. Claim your stake in the economy. Go into making a stationery for some of them. Of course, you will not start too big. There are people who have been making stationery. You are a new entrant. You are competing with them. But you can supply 50, 100 schools in your townships. Again, making the same approach as we said with the school uniforms. Go to the principal, arrange with them to come and sell at their school, and the school gets, for every set of stationery that you have sold, the school can get 1 rand or 2 rand. The school gets something. And you also cut off the middleman, so you can afford to bring your price down because you make and you sell to the school directly, and you cut out the middleman. Same thing with school shoes. We can have more people making that. And by that, by more, I don't mean that we should over flood the market with competition, but at least 5-10 more people per province, per district. Just look at Soweto, how big Soweto is. I think we can have 5 to 10 more businesses in this line. Or we can buy a machine, machine that makes socks, and just supply schools with socks, school socks. The short ones for summer using a certain material, and the long ones for winter using a more woolen material that is more warmer. And you can make clean money from that. Like I did a quick calculation with the uniform. We said that there are about 300 schools in Soweto. If you just aim for 100 schools, and we said that about the Google says that the average number of students in a school is about 500. Of course, not everyone is going to buy from you. People have a free will to choose where they buy. But if half of the school buy from you because your price is lower, you are new and you are competing on price, your price is lower. Say 250 students buy from you and you supply 100 schools. That will be 25,000 uniforms. And if you make a gross profit of 100 rand per set of uniform you sell, that will be 3 shirts. And I'm aware that I'm very, very conservative with this price of 100 rands. Three shirts, a school, and pants. And you make a gross profit of 100. That is 2.5 million. More school 2.5 million that you get in a year. But don't get too excited. It's not yet time to go. When you go into business, you need to have a cool mind and give your business the priority to grow. Because it may be 2.5, but it's not yet time to buy a BM and a Mercedes-Benz. Because you sell uniform once a year at the beginning of the year. In between, throughout the months, you are just making uniform. And to be able to meet your contractual obligations, if you don't want to lose your contracts, you have to be able to deliver. Do not wait to make uniform in October, November, December, and then you don't have enough stock at the beginning of the year, and you also lose money. So throughout the year, you'll be making uniform. You've got staff to pay. Say you've got 3 people. You've got one is a cutter, cuts out the designs, the shapes. I don't think you could call it the shape, the design. One is a cutter. You've got 2 that are 2 seamstresses, and you are the 3rd one. Throughout the year, you're trying to make 25,000 uniforms, but you make 2.5 million. Then from there, you take out the loan, say about 300 to 400,000 that you will be paying on a monthly basis to IDC. You've got your staff, say you pay them 10,000, which is 120,000, and you give them a 13th check, so it's 130. If they are 390, say it's 400, 800,000 is gone. And then you have a place to where you are sewing, and also you need a bigger place because you will be making it and you are only going to sell it in January or December. January most likely. You need a bigger place because you have to store it and you have to insure it just in case something happens, and you have to pay rent and electricity. So that's about 1 million gone, 200,000 plus the 800,000. So, but we are still left with 1.5 million. That's still a lot of money. And say you take your salary of 35,000 and you give yourself a 13th check also, that's 455. So you left with about 1 million, and you pay the tax, it's about 28. Let's do for easy calculation, let's say it's 30%. You remain with more school 700,000. And if you have a partner, you can, maybe you go home with 350, the partner goes home with 350. Why do I say partner? Because you are going to do your business plan and apply for funding at IDC. Now, it becomes difficult when you don't have managerial experience. It can work against you, because it becomes difficult to give a loan of 1 million to somebody who has never managed a big business, somebody who has never managed a budget of 1 million like that. Say, for instance, you were a street vendor, and there's nothing wrong with street vending, but we know that because of little capital that they start with, it becomes very difficult. You are selling every day, you make something, but it's really very difficult to make ends meet. Now, it also is going to be difficult to get a loan of 1 million when your CV does not indicate that you have the managerial skill. So partner with someone. Don't, shall I use the word, be greedy? Don't try to go it alone. Partner with someone to make things easier for yourself. Partner with somebody who is already in business with managerial experience, so that it makes it easy for you both to get that IDC loan of 1 million. And IDC, when you apply for a loan of 1 million, they want you to commit 10%. You may not have it. Your established business partner may come with that. So it's really symbiotic. They help you to get the loan, but they also help to pay the 10% that you probably may not have. And you go into partnership, and partnership is not necessarily a lifetime thing. It can be for 5 years, 8 years, and then you buy one another out. But for a start, to maximize your chances of getting a loan, partner with somebody. And the same thing can happen, like we said, with school shoes. We need to go into manufacturing, and we need to think outside the box and think beyond retail, because there are too many of us doing retail. And some of the things that we talk about in manufacturing, quite frankly, we can do them. We know how to do them, and they are not difficult. Like making stationery is not difficult. You can go into cosmetics. You can make underarm body deodorants. People are doing that. You can make lipstick. It's not complicated. I Googled, it's not complicated. You can make lip gloss. It only requires 3 ingredients. Lip gloss base, a color, and essential oil for smell. Only, that's all you need. This, I don't know if you can see it. This is a lip balm that I made myself. And when you start small, and because you are testing, start small and test it yourself. Test it among your friends and family and get feedback. Feedback is not a negative thing. Even if it's difficult or negative, take it as a positive thing, because it helps you to improve your product. Like this one, the recipe was saying shea butter, but because I love avocado butter, I went with avocado butter because it's very rich and very nourishing. But then in winter, it's a bit hard. But then at the same time, once you've applied it, it really keeps my lips moist for a very long time. So let us go into manufacturing. And we are in a somewhat better position. So this is how we are going to increase our ownership in the economy. By going into business, the government, they has done their part. At least there are certain things. They are not perfect, but there are certain things that they have put in place for us, like the IDC. And we're a little bit better than some of our counterparts elsewhere on the continent. We have IDC. And some of them they also have, of course. We're not saying that they don't have. And even the opportunities we're talking about, they also exist elsewhere on the continent, because wherever there are people, there are needs, and those needs, they translate into business opportunities. So draw up your business plan, get somebody, or if you're scared that somebody might take your idea and steal it and run with it, we are an MPO, we are new, we are getting started ourselves, but with a very big vision, not fully operational, but getting there. We need to get certain things in place ourselves, including getting ourselves the best of the best chief of party. But we are getting there, we're getting things in order. Get in touch with us. We will get you in touch with somebody, and we will facilitate the business partnerships between you with a template that is legally drawn by an established lawyer, to protect your interests and to protect somebody from listening to you, then stealing your idea and go doing it alone and leaving you in the lurch with your idea. And we can go beyond this. Like we said, that the townships and the villages, they are our forte. Let us start there. That is our strong point. Let us start there before we want to supply the well-established chain businesses. You can make peanut butter and supply the entire township, all the tuck shops in your townships. And like we said, when you start small, and then get them the tester, give them the tester to test and taste your peanut butter, and then get I don't know if they, yeah, something like we will buy, commitment from them to buy, so that when you go big and you sell, you have already arranged with them and you can supply the entire township with your peanut butter. And please, when we talk about peanut butter, what we know and what we have seen often in the past is when somebody is doing something and then it looks like they're successful, they buy a bigger car, they extend their house, they move to a new neighborhood. Everybody now thinks that there's money in this type of business, and everybody wants to replicate the same thing, not realizing that the market is limited, because the market essentially is the people who are available and willing and able to buy the product. If it's a township, it's limited in the township. The market is limited, but new entrants are coming in, and then they form, or they cause over competition, and then some fall by the wayside. Let's not replicate the same thing over and over, but be mindful of over competition. When somebody is making peanut butter and supplying all the tuck shops, the other one can make jams. Just make jam and go to the market. And you know that as a business, you don't buy from a retailer. You buy from a wholesaler and you buy at the lowest price. Go to the market, buy the fruits, sell your different types of jams. If you don't know how to make a jam, just go online, Google how to make jam. And then make jam and supply all the tuck shops in your township. And how big your business is will be determined by your by how rich you want to be. Before you even start, you need to define what is rich to me, because rich is different for different people. To somebody, rich is 1 billion, and to me, I don't wish to become a billionaire, because billion means that you are going to spend 1 million per year for 1,000 years. It's more than I need, it's more than anybody needs. I'm not bashing the billionaires, but define what is rich. Is rich 5 million to you? Is rich 10 million? Is rich 15 million to you? Define what is rich to you, and that will determine how big your business will be. I'm saying this so that we shouldn't find ourselves in the trap of greed, wanting to own the entire market to ourselves. Remember that the aspirations that you have, your neighbor in the next township or in the next province has the same aspirations to feed and provide his own family. But define what is rich to you, and that will determine how big your business is going to be. Because also nowadays everybody's on everybody's lips, scaling. But quite frankly, scaling is not for everybody. I'm not saying aim less, I'm not saying remain small, but how big your business is going to be will be determined by how you define enough. How do you find rich and enough for yourself? And then somebody can also make toilet paper. Let's not replicate the same thing. Another one can make, and I'm not sure how many children are born in South Africa, but quite a lot. Probably 1 million or two or more. I don't know. I didn't Google it. I should have. I'm sorry. But make children's clothes. Make children's feed food. Like Nestle. Learn how to make that, what goes into that baby cereal and the bottle foods for children. Somebody can make disposable diapers for children. Somebody can make pads and supply the entire township. We can go into different types. Somebody can make tomato sauce. Somebody can make potato chips. Like I was looking at one video, I think it was India, somewhere in the East. They make they make popcorn with fruit flavor. You just add oil and then throw in either slice of watermelon or grapes, a bunch of grapes, and then let it the flavor come out, and then they throw in popcorn seeds and it pops and it catches the flavor of the fruit. I haven't tried it. I want to try it. I bought my stuff. I'm going to try it with apple and cinnamon and see how it comes out. First experiment and get feedback from your friends and relatives. And when you start selling, also start small. Start with small bottles of say 250. Somebody can make mayonnaise. Start with small bottles of 250 and see how the market responds. When they buy a lot of that, then you know that they like it. Then you can go to 500, 750 or 1 liter. You can now sell big packets of that, or big bottles of that. So there's a lot of things. Just think of what we need when we wake up in the morning. You can make toothpaste. We are a population of about 60 million people. The average household size, national average household size, I think it's about 4 or 5. If it's 5, it means that we're about 12 million households. I think you can contract with somebody who has a piece of land. And we have land and sometimes we don't even use it, especially in rural areas. You find that we have a big piece of land and it's underused. You can grow herbs, and you just grow herbs and you dry them. After drying them, you crush them and put them into bottles. I went into Pick and Pay the other day. I'm not mentioning any names, but I look at mayonnaise. We have about four different, and one of them is no name brand. We have about 4 different brand names of mayonnaise. 60 million people, only 4 brands. We have about 7 different brands of toothpaste. 60 million people, only 7 people having those kind of businesses. They're making a lot of money because each one of them have a big slice of the market. And your brand, it may not be a national brand. You may sell in your township, the entire township, or 2, 3 townships, or district, the entire district in a province, and still make very good money. And the other area where we should go that I was thinking about are electrical engineers and new graduates from the universities of technology. I did a Google search. There are about 20 to 22 million people in South Africa who are using smartphones? Do we have a local South African brand owned by a black person? Electrical engineers. You may not have the money to start making it, but at least you can assemble it. Start buying the parts and assembling it. And I was thinking, out of 22 million, if you capture a slice of 1 million, you probably will not sell 1 million in 1 year. But I think you will have to do a lot of marketing and make people aware of that. And you'll have to go through certain steps to get it approved by the communications board and stuff like that. But I think if within 2-3 years, you can reach that level of selling 1 million units. And do you realize that if you make a gross profit of just 500% per one phone, that is more gone 500 million, 500 million. That is how we are going to increase our ownership in our economy. When we do, I'm not sure what we are waiting for. The government has done its part. I'm not praising them too much, but where there's credit, let us give credit. I'm not a fan of the things of the corruption I see, but we're not talking politics here. We're just talking increasing our ownership in our economy. There's nothing that stops you from registering that business, applying, doing a business plan, applying to our IDC, getting that loan, doing that business, and increasing your ownership in the economy. And when more and more of us are doing that, collectively we will increase. You as an individual, me as an individual, we may not own a big slice, but collectively as a people, as a black people, as a black race, we will increase our ownership in our developed economy. Because right at the moment, we cannot just benefit from the economy by supplying labor and being employees. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. And I know that not everybody is an entrepreneur. I know that. But I'm talking to entrepreneurs. You graduates sitting at home, please do not bemoan that there are no jobs. Assemble a laptop of your own. At least we have things. There's nothing that stops you from registering your business. Unlike in the past when we were not allowed to do business. You can do that. The government got that out of the way. There is support. There is financial support. You can apply to IDC and start your business. And if you don't have, and be honest with yourself, don't let the love of money make you go it alone and rule out somebody else. Partner with somebody who's got experience in business, who will be your mentor in business. Partnership, we said, is not for a lifetime. Who will be your mentor, who will walk the road with you and help you get you established. You will buy him out sometime in the future. Don't try to go it alone when you don't have the managerial skill and other skills and entrepreneurial skills. But these are some of these, and there are many, many, many more. You can make spices, you can make, I think we mentioned them. That avocado, I'm not sure where you can get a lot of them. Avocado seed is got so many health benefits, so many things you can do with it. You can take it, if you can find a place, somebody, maybe the fast foods that have burgers with avocado. Get the seeds, dry them out, and just grate them and dry them out, and then package them in sachets, like tea sackets. Yeah. They've got good health benefits, and you can even become more creative. Maybe mix it with rooibos, or mix it with hibiscus, or mix it with chamomile, some dried flowers. Read up on these things. I think the next video will be when you have found a niche, when you have found a business idea that you are interested in. What is the next step to do? We will talk about that in the next one. And then we will also talk about costing in manufacturing and pricing, and talk about other things also. But I just try to give a few ideas of what we can do to own and increase our ownership in our economy. There's nothing more we're waiting for. The government has done their bit. We have support. The most important thing, it is capital, financial support. We're not guaranteed that you will get it, but at least try, and try in partnership with somebody who's more experienced to increase your chances of getting it. And then if you don't have entrepreneurial skills, again, we cannot just rely on the government to train us. Yes, they will train. Yes, they are doing. But I had somebody say this. It is not original. I heard it, but I thought it is so profound that if you train and discipline yourself just to read 10 pages of business, it can be any book, but now because in this particular instance, we're talking about business, I will talk about business skills. Read 10 pages every day of a business book. At the end of the year, you shall have read 3,600 pages. And on average, the book length is about 360. So that is the equivalent of reading 10 books. You shall have read 10 books on business. Because to be quite honest, gaining entrepreneurial skills, first and foremost, it is your responsibility. For some reason, we've got this mind that the government do this, the government that, the government this. And yes, there's a part that the government needs to play. But I say it's a partnership between the government and us. Your part, your development, your gaining entrepreneurial skills, it is first and foremost your responsibility, my wonderful people. So I'm saying read every day. At the end of the year, you shall have gained some skill. It's actually knowledge. It's a skill when it's a knowledge and it's coupled with experience. But at least you are somewhere. You are heading in the right direction. So that is your responsibility. The government has provided institutions that can support us financially. So I say the ball is in our court. What are we waiting for? We talk of radical economic transformation. I'm not sure what that is, but if you and we just go into these things, you make peanut butter, you make whatever, you make sauce, you make jam, you make mayonnaise, you make school uniforms, and we get into manufacturing and we get ownership. Collectively, we own something, we increase our ownership in this economy of ours, in this country that we love so much. So that was that. And please, if you wish to get in contact with us, like I said, we're getting started, not fully functional. But if you fear that somebody might trick you, run away with your idea, contact us. I will put the email in the description box below. Please do contact us, and then we will put you in contact with somebody who can invest. Sometimes you may not even need IDC, just depending on how much money you need for your business. Like making mayonnaise, making peanut butter, those ones are small. I think the uniforms, because to make good money, you will need to supply at least 50 schools. Those ones will be more expensive. But to make mayonnaise for the whole, but if you don't have money, it's no problem. I mean, most of us, we don't have capital. Get in touch with us. We will get somebody who will invest the money in your idea and you supply, but at least get the commitment from the township tuck shops to buy from you. It makes things easier when there's even the investors. They become more interested when they know that there is a ready market. And ownership and partnership does not always have to be 50-50. So I will put the email in the description box below where you can contact us, and then let's take it from there and increase our ownership in our economy. There's nothing more we're waiting for. The government has done its part. They're not perfect, but they've done their part. The infrastructure is there, it's waiting for us. IDC is waiting for people. There are investors who would be interested in partnering with you and in mentoring with you while you also read every day. So that was it, my wonderful fellow South Africans. Sound like the president, my fellow South Africans. And that was it. Let us increase our ownership in our economy. And that's it. So good night. See you in the next video. And please, if you liked it, like the video and share with others. And also we have a book where we talk about how to develop an entrepreneurial mindset. It is available. It's an ebook available from Smashwords. I will also put the link to Smashwords in the pinned comment below, and please do download a copy of your book. And thank you so much for staying with us. Love you. See you in the next video. Bye bye.